Alright. What's up, guys? We've got Clem in the bottom left side of the map. Looking like a beast lately, but unfortunately for him, there's one man that always stops his hype train. His name is Dark. Dark has an over 70% win rate advantage versus Clem in their head-to-head, and he basically has taught Serral and Raynor and all the other Zergs how to beat Clem, which involves being a cheeky bugger, backstabbing him a lot, catching him off guard with big surprising moves, and, occasionally getting him with the old Nidus Queen Ling in the main as well. Clem has been haunted by Dark and the specter of the many times he's beaten him and ended Clem's hot streaks. Clem had a famous streak when he was really first coming into his own, where he won something like 50 Zerg vs. Terran or Terran vs. Zerg series in a row. Wasn't losing any maps even in a lot of those series. And then Dark 3-0'd him, I believe. And it was like, oh, there goes the hype train. And since then, Dark's maintained that very high win rate versus Clem. Always seems to have his number. So I like to tune into these matches because Clem, otherwise, like, for me, it's the ongoing story of, will Clem figure Dark out? Or will Dark just go to the military and Clem will heave a sigh of relief? Because I figure his earnings will probably go up by like 20-30% once Dark's in the military. I really feel like Dark is such an obstacle for him. Don't get me wrong, Maru and Zest back before he went military, and Zaun and these sort of guys, they were all problems for him as well, but Beyond definitely as well. I do think Dark is the number one Zerg problem for him on his radar. Here we go, guys. Reaper's coming on in. Ooh-wee. Okie doke. We've got the barracks in the back. That's interesting. Oh, Marauder Hellbat. That's why. Cheeky bugger. Cheeky bugger. Clem's going to go Marauder Hellbat timing off 2 command centers. This is incredibly committed. This is old school. Now, this is a timing attack, which Clem, Raynor, Serral all say is really bad. The 3rd command center one they say is not too bad these days because it can catch you off guard. But this one, you basically just defend with mass queens. Counterpoint. Dark has the sloppiest openings I've ever seen. He is constantly supply blocked. Case in point, he's been supply blocked for a few seconds here on 58, and he's got a lot of lava sitting there. Overall, it's not too bad an opening for him, but he generally is just not efficient in his early game, and he's not super duper safe. On the other hand, he's got 7 queens out. Viking comes out. Okay, Dark seeing a Viking, you know it's 2 things here. It could be Battlecruiser, I guess, but usually it's either the Marauder timing or it's just Viking into Liberator. Let's see if he drops any sort of safety precautions. No more queens, no Baneling Nest, no Spine Crawler, no Rotron. Oh my lord, Dark, you greedy boy. He's playing a very greedy game of StarCraft. You know what? He doesn't see, he sees no 3rd command center. He sees extra depots. He knows this is a 2-base build. There could be a 3rd command center, but why would it be building in the main? It's almost always in the wall. Dark should be building some sort of defensive structure. He's going to drop Roach Warren's 2nd gas. So he wants to play Mass Roach, but still only 7 queens. And if you're trying to go into Roaches, you like to skimp on the queen count, because queens and Roaches kind of do the same job. Problem is, Clem's luring him. Clem's luring him! Dark took the bait! Oh no, those Hellions were baiting him out there. The medevac takes a lot of damage, but he pulls it back. Dark's queen's going too far forward. The Marauders need to change targets. The Marauders need to change targets to these other queens to stop them escaping. Oh, he's got a split fire. He does split fire with the Marauders a little bit. Their Hellbat's staying in a pretty good clump. Oh, the medevac does go down. The Hellbat's trying to deal with those Zerglings. The queen's coming forward. Can Dark hold on? There is a 3rd command center building behind this. It's not all in, but it needs more damage. This is not enough just yet. He needs to kill some drones or every single queen. If he doesn't get that, oh man, Dark's a wizard. I think he's held. I don't think he really loses too much here. Gotta watch out for that Hellbat. Dark, completely disrespecting this. Does lose 2 drones, make it 4. But he finally, gets held. And Dark wizards his way out of that situation. And I was trying to make an argument for why this build isn't bad, especially versus Dark, but he just played the greediest opening he possibly could. Only 7 queens. If you got 8 or 9, you can defend with just queens. Normally, 7 queens is not enough. Dark says, shut up, your rules suck, pig, they're stupid. Also, notice how I only built 4 creep tumors. I didn't spread a lot of creep tumors. I did that to save energy on my queens so they had more transfusers. So within the greed, there was one safety precaution I didn't talk about, and that was the fact that Dark did not put a lot of tumors down. He saved energy for transfuse, and that is why he was able to survive there. Very well played, Dark. He's fantastic at just scrambling no matter what the situation is. And as bad as his openings are, his micro is pretty much the best in the world. His ability to hold off attacks that he seems not prepared for, just absolutely next level. You give him a bunch of Roach Ravager and he's almost impossible to put out of the game as well. Clem is going Bio Tank and he's going to be happy about that because it is up against Roach Ravager. Unfortunately though, he's playing 8 racks. 8 racks against Roach Ravager kind of sucks, guys. It can work, but it's a bit dicey. What is Dark doing? What the hell is this? What? Dark is doing a Ravager Ling timing on Clemster. This is the most bizarre counterattack I've ever seen. I've not seen this move before. A lot of Ravagers going to come in. Stim is done, but look how patient Clem's being. Oh, he goes forward. He takes out a few roaches. Pull back, pull back, pull back, Clem. Back to the tank, mate. Back to the safety. The Liberator's going to try and defend the Lings on the third. He's dropping mules into Zerglings, feeling the Liberator can defend it. The Liberator not quite in position, though. Ravagers go over. Lib, can it dodge? Oh, not in time. Those SCVs are going to get ransacked. Uh-oh. He's got a bunker. He accidentally attacks his own depot, but he does quickly press stop. Clem trying to get those SCVs out. The Biles punishing him. 10 workers go down. Dark has not started droning yet. He's still making Roaches Zerglings, but he's also making double Evo on a gas. This is a crazy commitment. He's trying to go in the natural. Dark YOLOs it. He says, you only live once. And Clem says, you only die once, dickbag. He does lose both of his tanks, but Clem's Marines punishing these Ravagers. Is it an overextension? A few more Lings could turn this in Dark's favor. But if he gets both of these Ravagers, I think it's okay for Clem, because look at the worker count. Even though he lost all of his tanks, if he was down, that would be a problem, but he's not down. He's actually, he's only barely down in army supply, and that's first Roaches. He's got even workers. I think he might be okay here. Dark has to rebuild Roaches just to stay safe. He's got 10 more drones on the way, but he hasn't been able to get out of this situation just yet, and this one's actually surprisingly back and forth. That was such a surprising attack for Dark. I think if he started droning 1 round earlier, or 2 rounds even, and didn't commit into the natural, it would have been a better position, because he could delay Clem moving out with the Ravagers, get into his upgrades, and be in a stronger position control-wise. Now it's Clem who gets control of the map. Double drop coming on in. Dark's only got a few Roaches. Where are they, man? They're all out on the left side of this map. You can see Roaches coming back. He does have Queens of Main. Careful! Whoo! Clem almost got in a bit of trouble, but he was still watching. And he's massing Marines. He's going to 8 racks this. Now, Roach Ravager is really good at shutting down 8 racks, but the question is, who's going to attack first? Roaches coming forwards. Clem saves most of the Marines, gets a few Roach kills. So if you show you're doing an 8 racks, Dark finds out, and then just sets up a perfect defense, he can get back in this game. He's got a nice 8-9 worker advantage. Actually, 11 worker advantage. I'm good at counting. But the problem is, if he doesn't realize, he's probably going to go Infestation Pit now. He'll probably go Hydra Den. He doesn't see the attack moving out, which is a big problem. Dark right now does not have any map vision. Him and Raynor are famous for being a little bit lazy in their scouting, where Sarah would have Lings and Roaches checking what's going on. He's being a little bit lazy, and as a result, this is going to siege up. He's not going to see it till it's sieged. Dark is going to need to give this base up. On the other hand, it looks like he's planning a 1-1 Ravager all-in. So that's good, because that gives him a lot more units to fight with on the D, but oh my god, Clem's ball of Marines! Oh my god, that's so many Marines! The Roach Ravager doesn't have 1-1 yet. A lot of Roaches went down before his upgrades finish, and the Marines pull back to the siege tanks. The Ravagers want to get in range for the Biles. Overextension for Dark. Overextension. Transfuses, though. Band-aids everywhere. Left, right, and center. The Roaches and Ravagers are shouting, Mom! Mom! They stabbed me. They shot me. But they quickly, Mom comes in, puts a Band-aid on it, makes it all better. That might be enough to make this hold happen. The Ravagers getting focused down consistently by Clem. But Dark's transfuse is so good. Is it enough, though? My god, the Marine firepower, the density. In terms of the firepower of that army, the 6 Medivacs healing is insane. Dark needs to not chase too far. Careful with the chase, Dark. You gotta pull back to more Roaches and Ravagers, mate. I think he's bleeding in a bit too messily here. He needed to hold this off. It's such a shame for Dark that he didn't see this coming. Clem caught him with his pants down, got the good tank position, and the focus fire. He just keeps focus firing units. Most people at a certain point just let their units attack move. Clem's like, attack moves for friggin' weaklings, mate. I am a Chad Terran, and I will target down every Roach and Ravager in front of me. But at the end of the day, Dark does hold on, cleans up the tanks. There's no 4th command center. And that might still be a good enough hold. As inefficient as it was for Dark, he's got the 4th base mining this whole time. He's also got 8 gases. Now, this is something I've been kind of pointing out a lot recently and laughing at, because I'm like, what? The first time I saw it, I was like, why are you making 8 gases? And then Dark morphed, I think, 80 Ravagers in that game over the course of it. It does allow him to replace these horrendous Ravager losses, but man, losing those Ravagers is really not good. You don't want to be trading those out. They are way too expensive for how fragile they are. They cost as much as a Mutalisk, and they're about as tanky as one. Ooh, gets caught by a push again. Dark. He's trying to make 2-2. Luckily, he hasn't droned at all, but where are his numbers? He had Roach Ravager on the left. He keeps expecting Clem to drop, and Clem just keeps headbutting this right side. This has gotten Clem into trouble in the past, and I really feel Clem needs to not expose his tanks. I think he should keep them in reserve and start doing a bit more drop play, take advantage of the fact there's only 2 queens out, but Clem's got a bit of a stiffy and he's going to try to finish this bad boy off. The Marines and the tanks come forward. I mean, the tank positioning is so good. The Roach Ravager is not intercepting, and the fact that he's able to freely rally through the middle of the map is a big problem. No backstabs at all. Biles land on a tank, but my god, at what cost? The Marine Ball has just always had a little bit too many numbers, and it looks like Clem's done it. I think he's done it, man. I mean, the tanks aren't in any trouble at all. No jeopardy. And Ling's coming in. Oh, they just get gunned down instantly. The random Widow Mine. Is he going to unburrow in time? No, that does go down, but this 4th base is in trubs. Dark has traded 6,000 resources worse in the units lost tab. And Clem, with a push which I normally don't advise against this style, finds a way to make it work. If it ain't work, don't broke, it says, don't, that's not the saying at all. I'm just too excited. Clem manages to take Dark down there. Dark playing a really oddball, fun style. And a fantastic defense of the Hellbat timing in the start, but Clem still finds a way to stitch that one together. GG, well played. All right, well, it looked like he actually had done pretty well, but man, that's one of a frustrating game to lose for Dark, because I think he was perfectly set up army composition-wise, but if you don't see the army coming across the map, and the way Clem shoved into the mineral line kind of forced Dark to take bad fight after bad fight, so we'll see if we can bring it back after this game. A gas first for Clem. Clem, I think, has something special planned. Either a quick Hellion dive or a very quick starport unit. We'll see how we go. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting, actually, because I do feel in that last game, if Dark had just built a few Zerglings, rebuilt those to put on the map, rather than being greedy and doing nothing but roaches, if he sees that army move out, the Roach Ravager intercepts it. Like imagine this is Dark's 3rd base. He basically let the tanks get there. But if he sees the push coming, he can engage it out here or out here and force the tanks to siege up and then just pull back. Force them to stim siege, pull back. You buy yourself a lot of time. It allows you to then spread some Roach Ravager around and flank the army. You can land Biles on tanks while they're sieging. There's so many more opportunities as a player that really allows you to defend those pushes. And Roach Ravager, we always talk about it being the best composition at doing a fighting retreat, right? I guess you could argue like disruptors and higher tech splash damage compositions there, but in terms of low tech compositions, Ravagers, because you can just shoot corrosive bile, pull back, corrosive bile, pull back, you can usually wear down an enemy that tries to force their way in, and at the very least slow them down massively because they have to spend so much time spreading, dodging against corrosive bile. But Clem doing a nice, he's actually a CV scout. Now this is surprising to me that he has CV scouts because that really messes up your build. If you go gas first, it kind of messes up the factory timing a little bit. On the other hand, you don't have enough gas to build the reactor straight away anyway, and it works out all right. It's actually not too bad. Oh, he messed up his timing. He went 2nd depot before 2nd gas. You're meant to go 2nd gas before 2nd depot with a gas first opening, so I think Clem messed that up unless players have changed the way they've done that. It's just notice he only now is going to 24 supply. So his depot was ready about 15 seconds, 20 seconds earlier than he needed it. And since it appears he's teching right up to 2 gas before 3rd command center, like, yeah, he's made a mistake with his opening. So Clem, I think a bit of a mistake there. I'll have to ask him about that one. If you guys remind me, those that are watching live after the game, I can immediately send him a message on Discord. He's usually pretty quick to answer them and be like, hey, noticed in this game this happened. Was that on purpose or not? And always good to double check that so I can clarify in future casts and be like, oh, he does this because of this reason. Nice, sneaky Zerglings. Hellions are almost out. Dark should know it's a gas first simply from how late the Reaper arrived, but Dark doesn't always pay the most attention to detail in the early game. So he might not have realized until this moment, but seeing these Hellions out pretty damn fast should give that one away. For perspective, the Hellions wouldn't even be halfway built yet if this was a 3 command center build. They pop out about 335, sometimes 340 usually in that case. So these Hellions are definitely out a lot faster. And in that scenario, you want to make sure your queens are very defensive on your natural, or the Hellions could dart in and go for a dive, especially with 4 Hellions out this early. Now Banshee as well. So Clem's just going really quick Hellion Banshee. He's playing mech. He's going to play battle mech this game. I'm pretty sure. I don't know why otherwise he'd be rushing Hellions and Banshees out so fast. I think he's just going to be a bit more aggressive with the Banshees. Dark is very greedy sometimes, might delay his Spore Crawlers to like 5 minutes, in which case the Banshee can get in and kill some stuff, and a third command center goes down. So yeah, I would expect mech. It doesn't have to be that, but I know that Clem's been very good with his battle mech play, and he likes it on this map specifically. Early on when he was doing it, he said, oh, I only like it on Crespin. I think it's only good there, even though we've seen him expand that to a lot of other maps since then. As I say, it's stem in a second barracks goes down, so never mind, guys. Pig's talking out of his ass. Clem's done nothing to hurt Dark. Has Dark even played safer than normal? Not really. 7 queens, only now going to 10 zerglings. Dark's droning pretty well. I actually feel like Dark gets the advantage off these openings because you've invested in a lot of tech very early as Clem, and unless the Banshee gets surprise damage, it's not really paid off in any way. That being said, there's no spores. Dark saw a gas first opening with early Hellions, and he's not built spore crawlers. I mean, there's greed, and then there's what Dark's doing right here. He does drop spores reactively. Gonna have to run those drones away. Clem with some good micro. This is fantastic damage, and the opening does indeed pay off. Against the gas first, you should always expect them to not be going 3 command center, but I think Dark maybe somehow misread this, didn't quite process. Hey, Hellions are earlier than normal, Reaper's later than normal. And, oh, that greed gets punished in a big way. Clem getting 11 workers. Sometimes just doing a build that no one does anymore catches your opponents off guard. Even pro gamers. There's so much you're thinking about in a StarCraft game, so many things you're doing. It's easy to just forget that something is an option and that it needs to be respected. There's like a little response that you used to do automatically, but you haven't done it in 6 months. You haven't done it in a year or 2 years. So it's just kind of, you've forgotten it. That part of your brain's atrophied, and you've got to remind yourself, looking at this replay, like, oh, of course, you need spores at 4 minutes 40 versus that, man. You can't be any later than 4:40. I mean, even 4:30. If it's Gumiho, I remember he used to get a Banshee in your base before 5 minutes pretty regularly, so sometimes at like 4:35 he'd get it in. You're like, how does that Banshee here so fast? His whole build is based around the fastest possible Banshee arriving. In which case, the spore needs to be even earlier. Sorry guys, voice fading a little bit there, but I'll make sure we keep on commentating properly so we don't strain it too hard. 2 drones on that 4th base, 65 workers. Where's the Evo chamber, guys? It's 6:20 and there's no Evo chambers. Dark's build makes no sense. He's making 8 more drones, but he's forgotten Evo chambers in a 6th gas. 6 minute 30. I mean, I know he took a lot of damage and he's trying to recover from it, but how's he going to stop the follow-up Marine push? He's got to be a bit... I mean, the upgrades aren't important. Okay, he's building more roaches now. He is... Okay, he's got a good timing sense. He has got good timing sense. This is not as fast as Marines hit off other builds because he invested in all that early tech. 2nd factory goes down. Armory, 4th and 5th barracks. All of that stuff is coming down. Feels like Clem is mentally preparing already to play a double Tech Lab tank game up against Mass Roach Ravager. Dark is already swapping into melee carapace though, so he doesn't care about the Roach upgrades. He's saying it's fine. Roaches are here to stuff your early pushes, put me in an unkillable position, and then I can go up into Massling Bane, but you're going to give me more space than normal because you're afraid of a big Roach attack hitting. You're going to build more tanks, you're going to build more, you know, turtle up a little bit more, and that's going to work out. Nice positioning by Dark, but still a chance to do damage. He's got a few seconds here. A couple volleys go down. 6 drones is not bad. And indeed, 6 is where it's going to end. On the top side, though. Oh, focusing the Ravagers. Oh my god, Clem's Marines are a menace. Clem is such a naughty boy with the way he does this. I feel like against other players, it's a little bit more relaxing, but for those who don't know, Clem was actually pissing off Serral so much with these Marine pressures against his Ling Bane, picking off Banelings, that Serral started playing a lot of Roach Ravager versus Clem. I feel like Clem, as a result, got so much practice versus Roach Ravager that he's just stimming in and focusing down the Ravagers, like, at a peak level. He sees one Ravager without enough Roaches to guard it, he's going to click on it, and he's being very annoying with it. The Banshee's going to come in, that Spore's badly placed, because he can get on this left side, but, is there an Overseer? There's no Overseer. The Banshees actually could have gone deep, but of course Clem assumed there was an Overseer, so he ran away. And Dark still refuses to make an Overseer. This man just has zero respect, I swear. He does this sort of stuff all the time, where you're like, you need Overseers versus Banshees. Dark's like, no. And you're like, but he could get in there and do lots of damage. Dark just says no. He's just like, I don't care. It's not going to happen. He'll assume I have an Overseer. So him expecting me to do the logical thing that you're supposed to do will cause him to be more cautious, and therefore Spore Crawlers on their own should be enough to defend. And you're like, huh? That's crazy, Dark. That doesn't make sense. And he's like, watch me. And then he does it time and again. And you're like, okay, you're really good at StarCraft. You do whatever you want. I know nothing. I'm Jon Snow. You're, what's her name? Ygritte? I don't... Regret? No regrets. Anyways, more barracks are coming down. He's turtling up and going for a quad drop. This is a big gamble. Dark doesn't see it. Dark doesn't see it, guys. He's building a spore in the main, but his army's... If his army moves south... Oh, look at this. This is a bait. He lures him out of position, and this is Dark's camera. Okay, luckily he has banelings nearby, but they are slow banelings. Ooh, they're a little close, though. Okay, Clem does pick up. Loses a couple of units, but not too many. That could have been worse. Good response by Dark. He's got a 5th base, 2-2, Vipers, and Baneling Nest. He's also not got too many Roaches and Ravagers. I would like to see Dark try to throw away the Roaches, just keep the 8 Ravagers, because they're wasting a lot of supply in very inefficient units right now. The 8 Ravagers and 7 Queens. The 8 Ravagers times 3, guys, 24 wasted supply. They're not good damage dealers. The Queens, 14 supply, wasted units, and you've got 7 more workers than your opponent. It adds up to a lot. So you got to be really cautious as a maxed out Zerg player if you're using supply inefficient units. Mass Queen is a good example, very low damage. Roach Ravager, very low damage. Vipers, not damage dealers. Drones, not damage dealers. Swarmos, another good example as well. So you got to be really cautious. He wants to try and have a few skirmishes rather than one big battle, but he's not setting up to counterattack, and that's a big mistake for Dark. Clem, on the other hand, seems like wants to just do the mega push. 2-2 verse 1-1 right now. 50 seconds till 2-2 finishes for Dark. You don't want to fight up this front on. This would be terrible. Look at the spread. Look at the spread of Terran, man. Dark needs to be backstabbing. Remember Rainer versus Oliveira on this map. Similar position. You cannot fight head-on into this sort of army once you're maxed with Roach Ravager. Maybe with Perfect Blinding Clouds he can do it. But oh my god, don't do it, Dark. Okay, he's going to take out the front tanks and then pull back. Good choice. That was a good skirmish. Remember I said he wants small skirmishes. Take out a few tanks, pull back, remax. And some Abducts or Blinding Clouds could be game changers. If he comes in from that top right, he could Blinding Cloud most of these siege tanks, but he hasn't reproduced his Ling Bane just yet. He's going to go for it. Dark going in, but he hasn't got a new round of Banelings ready yet. Dark goes in a bit early. Beautiful biles on the tanks, though. Clem's got to be a little annoyed. It keeps feeling like Dark's going just a bit too deep, but then he biles the tanks, pulls back. Biles the tanks, pulls back, pulls away. On the other hand, Clem has mass command center. This is by no means an all-in attack. He's got ghosts on the way. 3-3. So Clem is doing all of that late game stuff that he loves to do. And it looks like this push will probably get cleaned up now. Ravagers come in. Oh, only going to take out 1 tank. He's still got tanks to the right as well. The double tank production is also reinforcing fantastically. Dark will transfer drones to the southern base at the same time as going 3-3 and Ultra Cavern. I normally like Ultra Cavern, but you've got a player who you've already forced into a tank-heavy comp with Roach Ravager. Broodlords is a severely underrated, underutilized composition, and I'd love to see Infestor Broodlord. I mean, how often do we see Zerg players just refuse to go Infestor Broodlord? I guess in their practice games we don't see it much, but they've tried it more often. And they just get out positioned by the drops, and then the counters get up, and it doesn't maybe work for them. But it does feel to me like with Clem in such a well set up position, it's going to be hard to clear this army with ground. And I would have loved to see a few more backstabs this game. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. Giant engagement right now. Parasitic bombs go down. A few tanks go down to the Lings in the rear. The Ravager Baneling pulls back. How many tanks has he killed this game? 7. And the units lost to have 4,000 resources in favor of Clem. It's good, but it's not game ending. This base just needs to be given up. I really feel fighting in this area is always a losing battle for Zerg. This base is wide open, and he's letting Clem expand to a 5th for free. Remember what the secret sauce has been that Dark uses to defeat Clem. It's clever backstabs. It's big, giant, crazy backstabs in the mid to late game. He hasn't done any of those this game, and I'm starting to question why he's not doing it, because Clem's entire army is on the front. He's just sent a few units back because I think he's expecting something to go around the edges. Dark's going to try to burrow some Banelings. That's kind of cute. I like that. Scanning these bases is Clem. 3-3 upgrades coming in for both sides. It's finished for Terran. Zerg will catch up in about a minute. A little bit less than that. Burrowed Banelings spot some Marines moving past. Changeling does get drilled down there. You're not one of the boys. Marine's going to run in. Nice hot pickup. Saves all 8 of them. Ultras have been revealed, and this army's going to snake down the bottom, using that central area to now break down these areas. The fact that these rocks are still up is very annoying now for Dark to deal with. Queen's going to take out the drop in the main. Very nice. Full medevac goes down. Baneling's going to go boom boom. Ooh, siege tanks save the day, just barely. Command Center lifts, depots will fall. Clem does not care about losing depots right now because he's got a lot. But here we go! Parasitic Bombs, Blinding Clouds, big Ravager Ling Bane break in the middle. And finally, it looks like Dark is going to get rid of this position. Oh my lord, that was so frustrating. Ultra's coming in with some Banes, lifting some Command Centers up top as well. All right, not bad, guys. Look at the units lost. 6,000 resources in favor of Clem. He's trading good, but it's not the end of the world. He's still got a tank up here. Oh my lord, get out of here, mate. That's Sergeant Chadhammer. Please repair Sergeant Chadhammer. She's killed 26 units. She deserves it, mate. You've got to reward it. You know, pull her off the front line. Start using her for propaganda. She's got 26 confirmed kills. She survived by a sliver of life. And, you know, now she's going to be back in the fight and supporting our side. String her up as a bloody... Or not string her up. Post her up as a hero for everyone to see, you know? Give the soldiers something to aspire to. Ooh, Dark! The king of biling random air units. Does take it down a Banshee. It was stationary, so it's not impressive. It's just funny that Dark always seems to find stationary units. Lings do take down the Sensor Tower. Command Center in the top is going up. Dark's going to try and get aggressive with Ultra Ravager, Ling Bane, Viper. Still a lot of supply chewed up in Queens and Ravagers right now. Those Ravagers never really die. So we'll see what he can actually do with them. Oh, here we go, guys. Vipers could get some big juicies. Blinding Cloud's very nice. The Ghosts are a little bit far back. There's not that many Banelings here. Nice. Biles take out two Medevacs and a tank, but you can't really get on top. And a lot of the Command Centers deep in red. Ooh, if he could have taken out those Command Centers, that would have been nice. But not able to do it. And Dark, I think it's Broodlord time, buddy. Fusion Core's on the way, which means range libs will be coming. Hellbats with +3 vehicle weapons now complete. Blue Flame did not get made, though. Bit of a mistake there. Oh, no! Clem! Clem! Buddy! No! Factory does burn down. Bit of a mistake there for Clem. Hopefully he does rebuild that and remembers Blue Flame. If you don't have Blue Flame, Hellbats will not one-shot Zerglings. They do 27 damage versus light. You need that bonus. It's getting ship weapons as well as +2 vehicle plating. Looks like another round of Ling Bane for the most part. Just Ling Bane Viper. Okay, so Dark's playing the low-tier army. He's going to use super mobility. I think a big drop in the main would be amazing, but there are some missile turrets there making that a little bit harder. Hatchery in the north. And, oh, the Burrowed Banelings got caught as well. Clem's playing a very impressive macro game here. I really feel like his ability to just navigate this so confidently is great. The Blue Flame missing is the only real big, you know, error in this stage. He's rebuilding that factory as well. He's already got 2 other factories, I believe. Or maybe not. Maybe that... No, he does. 1 on a reactor. And I'll make 2 on a tech lab once he gets those. Liberators not getting biled. +2 ranges on the way, as well as Hydra upgrades. Interesting how all the Zergs seem to like to add a few Hydras in the late game. I think it's mostly just to deal with Liberators. Just a couple Hydras so you can take care of those bad boys. Drop in the north will get swarmed by the Ling Bane. Clem, get out of there, buddy. Does lose 2 Marines, no big deal. More Command Centers trying to come up here. None of them are planetaries just yet. Siege tank there, Bio dropping around the corner. And here we go. I mean, Clem's happy to play patiently. He's massing Command Centers. Dark needs to get a move on. Terran is sinking all this money into infrastructure. This is why Terran's always way behind in the bank, despite being more cost efficient. People are always like, well, they traded twice as efficiently. They still lost. It's like, yeah, they're building the Imba late game things, you know, the Iron Bank, Mass Orbital Command Center. But the whole point is if you don't have the urgency to shut down these bases, Clem will end up with way more money in the long run. You got to be really, really careful. As Dark, he's going Lurker and Nidus. I really wonder where that big Ling drop is. That's one of the moves that Raynor's been doing a lot. Dark I've seen do a few times. It's such a game changer in late game. If you come in here with 8 Overlords filled with Zerglings, he's got to scramble. There's no way he can defend that and this angle and the top base at the same time. Blinding Cloud Parasitic Bomb comes in though. Dark with a very nice engage. Oh, Snipes though. Snipes do go down on a bunch of these units. Biles landing on a few of his own units as well. Units lost up. I think that was still an okay fight for Dark, but he's got to rotate and take out this top base now. He's got to get a move on. There's so many defenses everywhere. I like this move. Okay, he's going to go for the Nidus Worm. Has he got anything inside, though? The Nidus Worm is empty. It's a distraction, Nidus. Oh, he's getting chased. Okay, he's going to have to give up this base. The Ghosts and the Bio coming forwards. Might be time to go around and just backstab. Up the guts, up the guts. The Natural's probably the most exposed point. Ling Bane does run in here for a Dark. Clem right now methodically doing a good job, but he loses the top command center. He cleans up the Lingbane on the south, though. Dark goes in a little bit willy-nilly. He's trying to catch Clem where he's not looking. And you know what? Clem just loses a command center, but he takes out a hatchery. If he can get another one, that would be massive. Dark taking that fight was a huge mistake, because now he might lose this fight as well. He cannot lose another hatchery here. The Hellbats doing excellently. Still no Blue Flame for those Hellbats. They still do great damage, but not as lethal as they should be. Ghosts and Marines. Oh my god, where's the Overseer? Where's the Overseer? He's only got one. He's only got one. He's not making more. Cloak is absolutely destroying him. Oh my lord, he finally makes one more Overseer. The Liberator siege up, but Dark's going to take those out. That is a good punish for Dark. At least he gets the Liberators. But man, the Cloak is a big issue. The Cloak is a really big issue. He's only made a single Overseer to deal with it. That Overseer gets clicked on. Once again, it's Invisible Boys killing all your stuff. Still skirmishing. Seems like he's dedicated to defending this angle, but these fights seem okay for Clem. Oh, Clem might be getting a bit overly aggressive now. Oh, I don't know. Oh my god, no, he holds. He holds and he punishes the Zerg again. The single Overseer does go down. Infestors are coming out. They've got Pathogen Glands. Oh man, this is a disaster for Dark, though. The unit's lost have 13,000 resources less efficient. Clem showing us a very sloppy F2 rally right now. But he keeps getting snipes off and actually punishing Dark for overextending. I don't know if it's Clem being sloppy or he's purposely baiting Dark off creep and punishing him whenever he turns around to run. The Mass Liberator coming in right now. +1 ship weapons is finished. The Ghosts do cop a big fungal, but there's not enough anti-air to deal with these libs. The Queens all fall on that left side. The few Queens remaining are forced to retreat. The Ultras coming in with the Banelings, but once again, no Overseers. The Ghosts and the Liberators send them packing. Oh man, oh me, oh my, still no Overseers making right now. Dark looking a little bit sloppy today. I think Clem's played a very impressive game, but I do think Dark has been light on the sneaky backstabs that he normally picks Clem apart with. And even if Clem can close off this game, does this mean that he's figured out Dark? Or is it just that Dark didn't quite pull off those normal moves that he does? I don't know, man. I really feel like this angle here in the middle is a nice one. There we go. Finally, he's going to go for it. He goes for it. The army's nearby, though, so doing this in isolation is not going to be that effective. Should just back off out of there. Gets the tank, runs away. Not a bad move. But he's got to pair that up with busting the top base. You know, pair this up. Every time you pull the whole army home like that, it gives you a bit of time, a bit of opportunity. Liberator Sieges on the top base. Spore Crawler will defend it. Advanced Ballistics never got made this game, from what I can tell. It and +2 ship weapons are currently making. Blue Flame did not get made, though. Ultra Lig gonna go for an ambush, but oh my god, he has nothing that shoots up, and the Liberators, the Ghost Cloak. He didn't have an Overseer again! He still has no Overseers! Dark, what are we doing, mate? He cloaks his ghosts every battle. You can't rely on him running out of energy. That is not a viable game plan. The Liberator cleans up the Queens and denies that base mining. The Hydra Ultra goes for the backstab, but it's a desperate backstab. It's after I've lost 5-10 battles in a row, then I will go for the backstab, and Dark is gonna tap out. That was a bit of a disaster for Dark. A beautiful victory for Clem against his nemesis in the NA Weekly Cup number 172 semi-finals. But 16,000 resources more efficient, and Dark being a little bit slow on those Overseers really cost him. The Blue Flame did hurt Clem a little bit, but the Cloaked Ghosts, man, these guys killed so much stuff. A lot of their kills. 22 kill Ghost. What? Oh my god, a 15 kill Ghost. 3 kills, 2 kills. Remember, there's no Broodlords, no Swarmos. A 17 kill Ghost. Yeah, he's got a couple of captains and commanders in there. Very well played by Clem, though. Let me know if you guys think he's got Dark's number, or is Dark just going to go back to business and smash him next time they play with a big Ling backstab. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Goodbye and good night.